The best,
Winny!
dude. Hello, guys. How we doing?
We're good. How are
Good.
you? Morning,
I'm
early morning
good.
in LA.
You're the only ones I would wake up and do this for this early.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it. We got you in the last slot, so at least we did what we could. We
Yeah,
did what we could.
I I appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Nice. You're the
What a
founder and
craft
CEO of
myself
Chip.
is.
Oh, let's go. Founder and CEO of Chip, a fashion tech brand combining NFC technology with press-on nails, which allows wearers to share their social profiles, portfolio, and contact info with a simple tap on someone else's phone. So I guess like just catch us up on what's happening in the world of Chip. Like celebrities are wearing the nails. Seems like you guys are going crazy on social. So would love the download
Mhm.
on what the last 6 months have been like.
Gosh, yeah, the last 6 months have been very interesting, especially as we're transitioning out of the kind of the crypto side of things. We do a lot of conferences and those have been, great for revenue. But when we start looking at what it means to branch out, we've really got to start hitting that mainstream. And something that really stood out to me was how much slower everything moves. Like when we're here, we're moving on like, 4-week maximum timelines to get ready for the next conference, just trying to get this revenue churned out. And when we start doing these collabs with these celebrities going mainstream, things are taking like 4 to 6 months. And I'm like, oh, I'm used to things moving really, really fast. Like we have a collab coming out in the next week or so with this musician Cuco, who's this Spanish artist who's got like 1.2 million Instagram followers. We've been working with their team for a while to see what that looks like to go into the music scene and what rewards look like for those users. And then again, I think I remember telling you about the Black Mirror collab that we started working on over 6 months ago. It's finally coming out in the next like week or so, and then yeah, we're getting surprise things that we didn't even plan for, like Ariana Madix. That was something that we had no idea that was happening, and I think just the product is beginning to start to have a life of its own outside of something that we thought we could control. So we're really excited to see how these things start to snowball. Our e-commerce side of things was something that we hadn't really paid we should have paid a bit more attention to, and now like that is purely our focus, is just to get that that baseline of recurring e-commerce sales and just letting that kind of traction snowball a bit now that we've got our footing with the new app is out. The rewards look great, the new app looks fantastic. Time did a really great job with that, and just yeah, I think the product is really at this place where it's just ready to kind of go. I think I give myself a lot of I don't cut myself a lot of slack when it comes to like what I think our growth should look like. Like our revenue is great. It's just how do we now get that recurring and outside of this echo chamber and get those non-native users to kind of get excited by it. And yeah, I think that's kind of where we're at now, is just how do we break through that first wall, I guess.
Yeah, it seems like you've always sort of been straddling these two worlds, like the crypto use case here, and the sort of demand, traction, revenue. But you know, your I think vision has always been that these there is a massive market for these nails. That there is just it is a very 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 big business, and so breaking into this broad consumer category is sort of the goal, and yet the tools that you might use in the crypto context to really go accelerate that growth through launching tokens or doing any of the sort of crypto stuff that might get you a bunch of early users, um, probably complicates the ultimate ability to go after that broader user. So I'm curious, what have, beyond just the timelines taking forever, what have you learned about maybe navigating that? Because I think there's a lot of crypto projects or companies products out here right now that have been waiting to make that shift because it's felt too early, and yet it feels like right now many of them are coming around to being like, oh shit, the time is now, which probably means they're late. So can you share some insights with us about how you've kind of navigated that shift?
Um, it has just been like personally getting out of this bubble. So I've like, especially like moving from France to LA, putting myself very much in the center of consumerism, really. And just kind of having those conversations and getting that network of founders that are like women in fashion, talking, navigating what it means to be in like in the nail world, which is a really interesting dynamic. Like when you start navigating these consumer products, like if you, and you probably do not know about this discourse at all. So nails getting really expensive. Going to a nail tech is upwards of like $200. Everyone's getting mad about it. So OPI released their own at-home nail kit. The nail techs are in uproar about it. So there's like this huge discourse going on right now that we're trying to tap into on TikTok of, all these nail techs getting mad about OPI releasing this thing, but then clients can't afford their prices, and then they're like, well, if you can't afford me, don't use me. But then girls want nice nails. So it's about how do we tap into these really human discourses in a way that's like, I don't want to offend nail techs, that's like the last thing I want to do, but I understand the reason I started this was because it was so expensive to get your nails done, so I was doing it myself. So I think it is about like trying to understand what it means to like market more in a more human way, rather than just like, no one is a non. You're not dealing with, people who are used to losing $30,000. You're dealing with people who don't want to lose 30. It's about how do we kind of have these human conversations, and it's something that I haven't done marketing in a while of. So it's like a muscle that I'm having to relearn of like, how do I talk to my peers in this demographic that I think our industry like just absolutely has been ignoring, but now they're really realizing it. I think we're seeing a lot more like human centric activations, like how Matcha did the nail salon. Like we've had inbound for about 20 of those over the rest of the year now, and it's a lot of the projects are really trying to be like, okay, how can we make this human and like actually emotional in a way that's not just token centric.
Didn't even know nail techs were a thing. It's such a sick job title.
But so
dude.
that's some more discourse.
I mean, I knew you
about
could go
what
somewhere and get your nails done, but I didn't know they were called nail techs.
Yeah, that's another part of the discourse of like, why are you calling yourself a nail tech? It's like it's a file and a paintbrush. Like that's more discourse. It's been fascinating to watch. Yeah.
I mean, I think you're clearly emotionally resonating with people. I think one of Jess and I's favorite moments last year was walking by your pop-up in New York and being like,
who are these people?
Who are
line up down the block like
a crypto brand? We're walking. It's just a bunch of girls in New York who are pumped to get these NFC embedded nails. Like it's a very different audience than you see at crypto conferences or really anywhere. So like I think the emotional resonance and demand you're seeing is amazing. But I'm curious how you're thinking about the bigger vision these days, and whether it's kind of evolving as you do kind of broaden into new concentric circles of users, because they are nails, but it's a much bigger kind of social network opportunity that you're running at. So curious both how you're thinking about it, and I guess how you're positioning it to people as well. Is it just nails, or is it come be a part of this girl tech world?
So this is something that like I think I've been very public about, like how I've been trying to like navigate what this means to me in my head as well. Like I thought I was excited by, building another product and building like NFTs into almost anything else, but that just really doesn't excite me. The whole idea of like what can we do with nails is the thing that really excites me. Like everyone's like, when payments, and I'm like, yeah, when payments, when can we actually like figure this out with a payment provider to be able to do stable coin payments through now? Like right now the chip it's so small, but there is so much real estate there that we can actually just, it's so exciting to see what we can play around with in that real estate and what tech we can put in it other than just like social sharing. So that is the thing that's exciting me most right now is how do we, because I think when it comes to that moment that like viral moment, you're in a club and you're paying with a nail, that is, I think, like sharing your socials is great, but it's just a foundation. But just the reaction of just being able to be like, I'm paying with this, I've got a bank in my nail, I think that's what excites me the most. I don't really care about like, there are so many great and more experienced projects in this space that are putting an NFC chip in a hoodie, and like I thought that was the direction that was exciting me, but really working on this has been like, wait, no, this is it, this is my niche, this is what I know, let me double down on this and let's get the girlies in the club tapping their nails.
Yeah, it's big, and know of no one else running at the specific angle that you are right now, which I think, being different is just such a powerful thing. Okay, so Josh and I are dudes, obviously, and our experience on the internet is very different. And in fact, working with you over the years has eliminated that in many more ways. So it seems that you're always sort of in the middle of some bizarre situation on the timeline with a bunch of dudes up in your replies. And Josh and I are very sensitive individuals. I think if we receive that sort of reaction, hate, weirdness, I'm not sure how I would be able to handle it. And yet you seem to navigate it very well, or at least you have your head on straight around it, which I honestly don't think I would be able to. So, and clearly there's sort of the broader discourse around, females tech and women founders and all this sort of stuff. And so I'm curious, how do you keep your head on straight through all that weirdness on the internet?
Honestly, like I just gotta say, I'm very grateful for the life that I have. And, I think those kinds of things are very fragile. Like I've got a great relationship. I love my company. I've got a nice like roof over my head. And there were times in my life where I've been a miserable person. I think back in like even just a couple of years ago where I was just deeply unhappy with a lot of things in my life and how I would act online through those times. Like you can go back to my Twitter to like 2021. I was kind of a miserable person, and I look at like how I've had to change myself and get to where I am, and that is through just how I just react to things, and the thought of going back to being that person, and that's how I see those people. Like if you're acting that way, that is because you're probably deeply unhappy with something that's other than me, and I'm a pretty easy target to be able to take things out on, especially because I do react and I give someone that reaction. But I do it because I'm like, hey, I'm just like, is I've got to stand for something. And if you're standing for something that's like hypocritical, it's, if there's 100 other people saying that like, hey dude, maybe you shouldn't be saying this. I Yeah, I think that it's just a reflection of someone else other than me, but I'm someone that's perceived as easy to take it out on because I'm a girl. And everyone also thinks I'm really short. I think that's another thing. Everyone thinks I'm like 5 foot. And I'm like, I'm 5'8". Like, don't come for me.
I can fuck you up.
Yeah, I'll fuck you up. My boyfriend can fight. Yeah, that's like, um, for me, it's pure entertainment. I think it's really funny just like seeing someone, especially like when it comes to a man who has power or has like some sort of position of authority and they're abusing it so publicly. I'm like, bro, that's going to backfire more on you than it is on me. So like, keep it coming. How far can we take this? And it's for me, it's just entertainment, which is kind of bad if I'm then saying that like, I think they're probably in a position of their life where they're not happy, but you got to learn. That's how I learned. So
You come for the queen, you're
yeah.
gonna get smoked. Yeah, I think the other thing I
Yeah.
saw it, and I think one of the things that by putting yourself out there, by standing for something, you actually attract people who also believe in that. And so, while the threads that I see that have usually what I'll see is your response to something, I'll go into it and see the thread is actually the top comments are actually just very supportive people, because there are
Mhm.
you've sort of attracted a group of people who understand who you are, what you're building towards, etc. And so I think if there are people out there maybe resisting stepping into the more public space and showing up there because of the fear of what that might attract,
Mhm.
I think we're also missing out on all the good things that kind of come from that as well.
Oh, 100%. I mean, it is like it's a battle to kind of get to where you want to be. Like I look at like an artist, say like Tate McRae. I'm personally not a big fan of Tate McRae, but then you look at like how many like diehard fans she has, and like same with like Taylor Swift. Anyone that you like, anywhere that you want to be, that's like bigger than you, you're gonna get that dichotomy. It's just like it's just so it comes with the territory, and I think almost retaliating to it allows you to desensitize yourself to it. So it's just like it's it's just a muscle that you kind of have to exercise at the end of the day.
I love it. Well, the chip products have been the only product that both my wife is engaged with and her friends are engaged with, and they think that I'm super cool because we invested in this cool random, nail project. None of the other products that we have resonated remotely with that, and so to the point where people are sort of DMing and asking. And I think even my wife's store is going to try to carry you guys at some point here. So I think just, we are such fans of, passionate founders and such fans of things that are just novel and different. And I think you've held on to your core vision here so well in countless conversations with us that it just gives me such deep conviction and belief in the direction you're going in. So we're very lucky to have you in our community and just really excited to see the continued success you're having.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you guys. And thank you for the support through my disillusion over the last couple of years.
I think you've taught us way more than we've taught you, I think. So.
Oh yes, this is
Thank
very
you.
true. Very true.
Thank you.
Winny, thanks for getting up early for us. Excited
Thank you so much for having me,
to
guys.
with my nails pretty soon.
I'm excited. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Winny.
Peace, Winny.
Just bye.